So, Gaffer, 2 weeks without a game. How beneficial has the time been with the lads, that extra time?
Yeah, I think it's a bit different than early on in the season where we knew we didn't have a game. You obviously do all the prep for last week's game, so it's a bit different. The schedule is as normal, but on the flip side, the not having a game last weekend does allow us, after 4 games in 9 quite arduous days, it allows the odd bump and scrape and knock to recover a little bit. So yeah, it has been helpful in that sense. Would have preferred the game to be on, but that wasn't the case. But we also know that Chesterfield haven't played since New Year's Day either, so it's even longer. So yeah, it's it'll be, other than obviously Tuesday night that we saw them play in the Virtue Trophy. So yeah, it's going to be it'll be interesting to see how we get on. Yeah.
And injury-wise, how are we looking?
Well, obviously, we know we're going to get some players back relatively soon. We don't know if it'll be this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after, but they're all heading in the right direction, and that's a real credit to the medical staff. I think Moro and Morts work extremely hard with them, and the players do really well when they're inside, and then obviously Greg gets them back into sort of match condition, if you like. So the whole process works really well, and because they're good members of staff to have. So hopefully it won't be long now before we've got a few more options.
Yeah, and all to play for at BP, isn't it? Really, I mean, they're separated between us and them of 3 points. I'm sure expecting a well set up Paul Cook side.
Yeah, listen, I've played against him. I've managed against him lots of times at different clubs. He's a good guy, Cookie. I really like him, and we know it'll be two good footballing teams. We come out on the wrong side of both the M's earlier on the season, but I thought the performances in both them games was terrific from our side. Like the second game, we had 2 second-year scholars and 2 first-year pros playing against a proper League Two team in the trophy. And then in the league game, although we come out on the wrong side of it, that performance set us up to win the next 5 away from home. So we knew that the performances against Chesterfield have been decent. We've now got to make sure that that's matched by the result this Saturday.
Yeah, and for a newly promoted side in general, they've done quite well, haven't they?
Oh yeah, listen, Paul Cook knows what he's doing. They've got a decent budget, good owners. It's a well-run club from top to bottom. So we knew that they were never going to be anywhere near the wrong end of the table. They were always going to be near the middle to top of the table. So yeah, it's good. So hopefully we'll have a same atmosphere as we did the last home game against Vale, and the same result, because the fans were terrific, absolutely terrific, on the 28th, 29th, was it 29th, and we hope that we can create the same atmosphere, feeling and result. Yeah.
In terms of form, that they are a bit out of form at the moment. They haven't picked up a win in their last 4, so they haven't won this year. But we've seen in this division, anyone can beat anyone, can't they? Really?
Yeah. Look, I think if you said to Paul Cook they'll be where they are in the league with the injuries that they've got, he'd probably take that, and that's not really a reflection of him and his teams, and probably the players. So we know that they've got 1 or 2 injuries, but at the same time, like you said, anyone can beat anyone. So we've got to be right on the top of our game. We've seen that ourselves. We are that team that you're sort of speaking about. We know that we can beat anyone, but also lose to anyone. Now we've got to be right on our game, because Chesterfield are a good team, and if we are, then we've got a great chance of picking up another 3 points at BP.
Yeah, and they've obviously got dangerous individuals in their team. I mean, notably Armando Dobra. He's been quite vital in their previous games. He's the reason they won at Wimbledon. How much of a threat do you view him?
Yeah, I can remember him at Ipswich. He scored. He pulled the ball out of the air and chipped our goalkeeper from about 30 yards. So I've known him for a while, and he's been a thorn in our side for a while. And he's a good player. We saw him. Like I said, me and Sean went to the game on Tuesday night and saw him there. And he's an extremely lively player for them, and he's dangerous. And the crowd get on the edge of their seat when he gets the ball. He's that sort of typical attacking player, but he's very, very clever. And we've got to make sure that we've got the answers to when he has the ball and stop him getting the ball. But it's not just that. They've got quality throughout the team. and we've got to. Like I said, it's the same. It's the same for any team. We've got to stop their threats and expose their weaknesses. And undoubtedly, Armando Dobra is one of their strengths. But we also know they've got weaknesses. So, that's where the game's won and lost, really.
Yeah, and obviously they've beaten us twice this season, away in the Cup and in the league. We need the fans to make sort of BP as formidable as possible, don't we? To give us that edge and not give them an inch.
Yeah, I said that a minute ago. The fans against Port Vale were terrific, like outstanding. We had that against Bradford earlier in the season. We had it against MK Dons last year, and I appreciate that that's not always the case because of what's happening on the pitch or things like that. But it's so important. It's so important. Like I said, we sat in the stand on Tuesday night, me and Sean. Every time a player got substituted, the whole stand, regardless of what happened, clapped him off the pitch. They were coming out before balls even kicked. The whole place was on the feet. Obviously, that's built off the back of a promotion season last season at the National League. But the crowd are invested, and we it's up to us. It's incumbent on myself and the players, mainly, to drive that. But we do need them. We aren't where we want to be. We're on this journey. I think anyone can see we've made undoubted progress compared to where we were last year, for example. In a whole calendar year. So we are making progress, and we need everyone to help us in any way, shape or form they can. And if that means clapping and singing and dancing and shouting and screaming, in a positive fashion for the lads, then that will help, because we're all human beings, and anyone who shouts positivity goes for longer, does more positive things. It's positive reinforcement, and that's how important the crowd can be. So hopefully that turns out to be the case tomorrow, and we get the same result as we did in our last home game.
Yeah, and ultimately push for that first win in 2025. Keep us looking up the table.
Yeah, look, I think the fact that if we win, we might go back in the playoffs. I don't actually know how many points we're outside the playoffs, but I know that if we'd have beaten Notts County, we'd have been level on points with them, who were in the playoffs. So, we've got to keep winning games of football, and if we keep winning games of football and the games keep ticking down towards the end of the season, and we're still there or thereabouts or in the playoffs, well, we'll have had a terrific season. So, all to play for, and it's another one where I hope we can get a win and like I say, keep moving forwards.
Nice one. Thank you, Gaffer.
Thank you.